On your radio, on your mobile, and your smart speaker, too. Starved Rock Local, 1039 WLPO.
5:43. It's Wednesday, April 16. I'm Rod Thorson, 1039 WLPO. I'm in a better mood today. Taxes got sent off. I'm in a better mood. I'm over it now. Until next year. I've got a heart that's pretty big. No, I really do. And it hit me this morning when I'm listening to WLPO News about the food distribution today. Okay, Easter's coming up, but they don't do it just at holidays. It's on a regular basis. Food distribution. In a country that calls itself first world, okay, we call ourselves developed. And, we got people going bankrupt because of medical debt, struggling to find health care and then afford it. And then another basic, food. We all need it, okay? And, I grew up on a farm, during the time when everybody's like, oh, yeah, we got to feed the world, feed the world, feed the world. Okay, well, how are we doing? Yeah, how are we doing when it comes to feeding the world? It's going to be a food pantry distribution today, and I would highly recommend avoiding downtown for a while. The line is going to be around probably 2 or 3 or 4 city blocks of cars. I see this whether it's in a big city or in small rural towns. Charitable organizations, religious organizations, sometimes government or quasi-government organizations. We try to do our best. We've got the Supplemental Nutrition Program, SNAP, the old food stamps is what it's called. Everything from that right down to, you buy an extra box of granola bars and hand it to a poor homeless person on your way home. Whatever. We're trying to keep bellies full, I guess, And then by the same token, we've got a terrible obesity problem amongst low-income people in this country. You can see it, okay? I'm not just judging people who are fat. And listen, I'm not a small person myself. I'm in better shape than the president, I think. But supposedly the same height and weight. Anyway, got a new administration with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. leading Health and Human Services. And he has 0 qualifications to do this, by the way. 0 qualifications on a resume. But I don't know how many of you know this. Before he started anything political at all, he was the head of a group called the Waterkeepers Alliance. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. 25 years ago was fighting mega hog farms, trying to keep water clean. And he also spoke at length many, many times about keeping fertilizer, nutrients out of water systems and water supplies. The dead zone in the Gulf, okay? And who's to blame for the dead zone in the Gulf? Corn farmers, and they're not just, they're not evil polluters who are trying to build a dead zone in the Gulf. They just don't care. That's all it is. It's ambivalence. They don't care. Nor do they care if poor people in America are fat. Have you been to a meeting with a bunch of farmers there? If these guys back up, they start beeping. They're giant. I grew up in the 60s, 70s. I was born in the 60s. And I remember when farmers were like wiry. They were built like broom handles with Popeye forearms from doing chores. Today, you look at a group of Farm Bureau members, they are fat. Got this slogan, never trust a fat farmer or a skinny chef. That's my slogan. Anyway, now this is going to be a little insensitive for some of you today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is working with governors in 24 states who are advancing Make America Healthy Again legislation to get soda pop off the food stamp program. Food stamp, SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Program. Now, hold on a second. The food police? Yes. As a taxpayer, I'm cool with this. I like Sprite. I'm kind of a Sprite guy, but I don't drink it all the time. Just, Sprite, little fruit juice together. That's my thing. I don't want somebody telling me what to buy, what not to buy. But if it's my own money, I especially don't want them. Now, food stamp recipients, they're buying food with your money, my money, up at 5:48 in the morning, shoulder to the wheel, nose to the grindstone. Guess who's unhappy about this? The American Beverage Association. If you get an opportunity, it's a pretty long read, but go to the American Beverage Association on X or Twitter this morning. Holy smokes, like a bomb going off. They are dug in and ready for a fight, a war over high fructose corn syrup. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., if he were allowed to speak freely, he would tell you that most of the Midwest problems, health, environment, economy, can be traced back to corn. And you know what? He's right. You're damn right he's right. Too much of it. Too much of it in your diet, too much fertilizer in the river, too much of it in the ethanol plant and in your gas. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just 5 days ago, sat in that cabinet meeting, and here's what he said.
State in the country to ban supplemental fluoride. I'm working with Brooke on and governors now in 24 states who are advancing MAHA legislation to get soda pops off of the food stamp program, off the SNAP program.
I'm okay with him doing this. You know, I'm a frequent critic of all this MAGA nonsense. But I am absolutely 110% on board with either taxing soda into oblivion or, hey, if it's that bad for you, let's just ban it outright. Let's just ban Pepsi, ban Coca-Cola, ban Sunny D, ban all that junk. I mean, if it's that bad, I am dug in and at war with the American Beverage Association. The American Beverage Association yesterday issued the following statement on today's news of Arkansas's SNAP waiver submission to the USDA. It's disappointing, they said, that Governor Sanders and Secretary Rollins are choosing to be the food police rather than take truly meaningful steps to lift people off SNAP with good-paying jobs. The American Beverage Association made a long statement about this. They said, quote, "Make no mistake, this waiver won't make an ounce of difference on health. Obesity has skyrocketed in the last 2 decades while beverage calories per serving have dropped by 42%. Oh, they're making the little cans for you now. Yeah, they're so cute. Thanks to our industry's efforts to empower Americans with more choices and information, in fact, 60% of beverages Americans buy today have zero sugar due to our innovation. If Governor Sanders is serious about making Arkansas healthy again, this would be a comprehensive effort, not one narrowly focused on excluding one population from buying just 2 sets of products in the grocery store." Oh, yeah. Now we're discriminating against the poor by pulling away their choice to poison themselves with high fructose corn syrup. The American Beverage Association yesterday issued this statement about Indiana because there was a Make America Healthy Again event in Indiana. Quote, "We will always work with Governor Braun to make Indiana's families stronger. Providing Americans with more choices, along with clear, transparent information, is the better way to improve our health." End quote. These guys are the new tobacco company. The American Beverage Association. Here's another part of their statement from Indiana. Restricting SNAP purchases or banning safe ingredients won't make anyone healthier. They only create headlines. Rather, they're punitive policies that leverage fear-mongering and misinformation while taking decisions away from Hoosiers and giving them to government. The outcome? Empty grocery store shelves, increased prices, and cashiers forced to be the food police. 815-223-3093, the number to call or text. I don't know why it took a lunatic like RFK Jr. being appointed by a monster named Donald Trump to tell us that SNAP shouldn't be used for junk food and soda. I mean, you and I shouldn't need a lunatic like RFK Jr. to tell us that this stuff is making you fat, flabby, and flatulent. 815-223-3093. Listen, anybody who works in, say, a rural school, I mean, it's well over half of them fat kids. Talk to somebody who works in a rural school. Hey, enough with the poor shouldn't be told how to shop BS, okay? We need to use some common sense, and right now. The taxpayer should not be subsidizing Coca-Cola. The taxpayer should not be subsidizing PepsiCo. The taxpayer should not be subsidizing high fructose anything. I mean, listen, if the Trump administration and RFK Jr. really believe soda pop is unhealthy, ban it completely, nationwide. Just ban it. Oh, they're trying to control people on welfare. Orange says it's no different than cigarettes. Right on, man. You can tell by how they're acting. Now, I don't blame the business, and I don't blame the trade organizations for trying to defend their revenue stream. And you know what? If you or I, up at 5:54 in the morning, shoulder the wheel, nose the grindstone, we're buying groceries with money that we make ourselves. We're not getting it from the taxpayer. You ought to be able to buy whatever you want. But why is the taxpayer subsidizing Coca-Cola and PepsiCo? They, meanwhile, are poisoning people and giving them diabetes and a lifetime of obesity-related diseases. And then Medicaid pays for Ozempic or gastric bypass or something, and then we all pay for dialysis in the future. All to make the corn people happy. Everybody from seed corn to high fructose corn syrup crushers, blenders, ADM, the rest of it. Why are taxpayers subsidizing any part of this diseased food chain?
Get more Rod next on 103.9 WLPO.